neighborhood that I'll be doing for my vlog assignment is Mount Pleasant in Vancouver, BC. My first health supporting characteristic of Mount Pleasant is its walkability. Using the 7 measurements of walkability mentioned in Module 7, you can see that there are people, community centers, parks, efficient pedestrian design, workplaces, and complete streets. This aspect of walkability helps touch on the economic social determinant of health as well as just physical health in general, and help neighborhoods rely less on vehicles such as public transit or driving, and can help physical health through cardiac health as well as mental health. This feature is not unique to my neighborhood. It is actually common in Vancouver, BC. However, it is unique in comparison to the rest of the world. My second health supporting characteristic would be the parks in my neighborhood. In Mount Pleasant Park, you can see that there's a very large open green area, a playground, a skateboard park, and a community garden. This feature helps with physical health as well as social and economic determinants of health. These parks provide social opportunity for people to meet and just develop a stronger sense of community as well as a stronger support system. This also helps citizens economically as they do not have to pay a commuting fee or other fees that may come with different facilities. Parks are not unique to where I live, however, the features of it, such as the community gardens and the skateboard parks, are very unique. My last health supporting characteristic would be the community centers and services. The Mount Pleasant Community Center offers a variety of programs such as social programs, fitness programs, as well as programs specifically for kids or seniors. Additionally, there is a built-in library into the community center. These features help to touch on the social and economic determinants of health as well as just physical health as a whole. Community centers help out with physical health through their fitness programs for kids as well as seniors. There is still a fee to pay for these programs, however, they are much more manageable. Additionally, there is also a community fridge. They grow a bunch of different foods and you are free to take whatever you may need. Avoid the health problems mentioned in Module 8, such as high risk for multiple chronic conditions, lesser ability to manage these chronic conditions, as well as stress and depression. There are much more things in my neighborhood, such as food banks and programs such as the Lookout Aid Society. In general, this feature of my neighborhood is not unique, however, the extent and quality of these services are quite unique. My first health characteristic that makes health more challenging is the cost of living. This high cost of living can cause economic stress, which can deteriorate physical and mental health. As mentioned in Module 2, this can lead to one of the 3 low-income disease mechanisms, as well as contribute to income inequality that has been increasing rapidly in Canada. I would also use the distributive policy to create a tax where individuals of Vancouver can help support a lower cost apartment building or rental houses. The second characteristic kind of builds off of the last one. Because of these very high costs of living, the homeless population in Vancouver is extremely high. In Module 2, it is mentioned that they are more likely to face the 3 low-income disease mechanisms like I mentioned earlier. Because of the economic strain that Vancouver housing puts on these individuals, they're now unable to have access to any type of healthcare, social or physical. I would also use the public policy, specifically distributive policy, to try and fund more shelters or food banks to support the homeless people. My last health challenging characteristic for Mount Pleasant would be the high density of people. Because of the increasing prices, the demand rises and so does the price. Like listed earlier, this can lead to mental health and physical health strain. Public health survey results show that a notable portion of the population have reported worsening mental health due to economic uncertainty. Additionally, transit becomes very difficult and traffic becomes very congested. I do believe a public policy, specifically distributive, should be implemented. The government can allocate funding for individuals to have more access to mental health clinics or other forms of treatment. To reflect, I do believe it is a healthy place to live in general. I would say that the biggest issue is the cost of living in Vancouver. I think in order to combat this, the government could be doing more in terms of distributive policy to help support the people who live in the Mount Pleasant area. I believe that Mount Pleasant's biggest strength is the community center and its services. The community center itself does offer a plethora of different programs